Hello everyone, today I wanted to go over a Riven game. Now, contrary to the usual 1v9 victories, the lane actually went quite even, but what's special though is that it was quite action-packed. There's a lot going on and I wanted to break it down for you guys. If you struggle with this match up top, I think you'll learn something for sure. If you click the video because of the title, well, I have to say is don't get the skin. It's bad skin, waste of money, treat yourself to something nice instead. I have like a 10% win rate with it. Not worth it, unless you think it's the sickest thing you've ever seen. Please don't exit the video though. Listen to me yap about laning instead. Anyways, thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Love you all. For runes, I suggest bone plating for sure, and you can do whatever you want. Overgrowth, something I don't know, but I always take shield bash. Exhaust is recommended since it makes it way easier to deal with her level 6 all-ins, even though supposedly if you play theoretically perfect, it's not necessary, but I can't trust myself to not make a mistake. Finally, I think Yone's counter matchups like Riven is one of the true tests of your mechanics and champion mastery because it requires amazing spacing for you to win. Level 1, I like to stand in this part of the bush because sometimes Riven players like to Q3 into it. But it's highly unlikely that they will aim it in the corner I'm standing at. If they take it, we can just run her down. As you can see, she didn't do that, but it's still important to click on her character and check how many stacks of Q she has to determine how we should play. As you can see, she has 3 stacks of passive, meaning she was using Q to stack passive before we got to lane, and her Q is around back up. Generally, we want to get prio or keep the wave even so she can't run us down with all her dashes. I will say though, this Riven is Master's Peak, but better than some borderline Grandmaster players. I'm still trying to get good at the game again after my break, so I will fuck up a lot and I hope you guys will be understanding. She gets my bone plating, but as you can see, her Q itself didn't do that much damage. It's the passive autos paired together that hurt. We drag away from her and try to get level 2 first. Notice that when we get a Q stack first, and then purposely give her E auto attack range when our Q is back up, we Q to get Q3 and use W to block her damage. This Q3 is really important because she already used 2 of her 3 dashes, making it really difficult to dodge a point blank Q3. Instead, Riven chooses to Q us, and the instant she uses it, we exhaust and Riven instantly flashes afterwards. We chose to do this because Q3 plus auto equals a fully stacked lethal temple, and she would likely have to use flash. Anyways, so it's not necessarily a bad choice for her. She tries to do it again, but we get level 3 this time and chase her. Unfortunately, I had to burn flash to compensate for my bad Q3 aim. While I did dodge Vi's Q, she knew I wanted to W and readjusted herself, making my W miss, and I thought I hit it, so I greeted for an auto attack, making me not use Q3 and dying. If I hit my W, it might have gone way better for me, but Vi still has flash, so who knows. Afterwards, Riven froze the wave, but it wasn't quite enough and the wave crashed. Lucky us. If you see her engage, don't immediately panic to E away because our E cooldown is a lot longer CD, and each of these engages she does. She is not fully committing because she knows we have E up, and we are spacing her well. Then I make a beginner mistake of not noting level up timers, but I also didn't think she would have cooldowns up so fast again. This time we are forced to use E to mitigate some damage taken and get away right before Riven's cooldowns are back up. I hard shove the next wave because seeing that Riven has boots, it's not unlikely she is aiming for a fast base with all her movement abilities and new home guard. We base afterwards and we move up to prevent Riven from getting turret play. Wildly enough, Vi was sitting in a bush waiting for me. After seeing her, we E sideways to avoid getting hit by Riven's EW stun, which would guarantee Vi's Q. And afterwards, wait for Vi's Q to finish before Eing back. Since we have Q3, we can buffer by using Q3 right before we get CC'd. Note that we walk up a little first before using Q3 to maximize distance. Ari comes up to help us after, and we should have gotten her since I had W, but slightly miscalculated and tried to go for a QW. But if Yone misses Q, then he will most likely miss W as well, unless they were stationary, so that's my bad. While Riven is coming back to lane, we shove the wave and get a plate. A useful method is if you don't have a Q stack already, then maintain her E auto range, meaning if she wants to engage onto you, she has to use everything to reach you. But of course, Yone wins the extended trade in lane, so after her W is over, we just all in her, and her abilities are on cooldown so she can't kill us. We base after another plate. Here I walked up too far, not following the rule, so I had to E away since I won't be able to take an extended trade being this close to the tower. Before E is up again, we have to be careful and position far away. We have my first big mistake here. I Q3 into her with E on CD, and when Yone takes a Q3 too close to the opponent, there is the problem of closing the distance gap for your opponent. I also got scared and didn't realize that Riven had already used her abilities on me to engage, so I should have at least tried to fight her instead of just fully dragging away. Finally, I whiffed my R, probably couldn't gotten away, but my brain was trying to W and flash at the same time, so the worst combination came out. W the wrong way and not flash for Q3. Truly a tragedy. But the main thing is still E on cooldown and not thinking about the consequences of missing Q3. By the time we come back, Riven has Eclipse. Part here is what happens when you let Riven engage onto you with E auto and you have no Q stacks. It's an even trade from a health perspective, but don't forget that Riven almost always engages first and is better at executing you. In addition to that, don't forget that this is the optimal case where you hit everything with the only mistake being auto attack instead of using Q when her Q3 came through. Obviously, this is still a very valid option if you are ahead in some form, but it's not the optimal case. Riven chose to base after that, and we do the same after shoving. Oddly, Riven used Q3 randomly, and we had a Q stack, so instantly E into her and run her down with Q3. I was super confident that it would kill, but sadly for us, it didn't. She should have always died there no matter what, but that's just how it is sometimes. Now, what is something you've noticed about this Riven? I noticed that she likes to save up her Q3 and use E to gap close and airborne me. I could just E slightly to the side, but this is a pattern I picked up, so the instant we see it coming, we use R, whether or not the Q3 would hit us. We run her down with E after she uses her abilities. I only use Q flash to guarantee it hits, but lucky us, we stopped a Vi trying to save Riven. But Riven is still Riven, so as I was warding, she did the usual, and while I was gonna tank it, she used ult, making me E. By the end of her stun, I needed to use exhaust, but I'm not sure if I just didn't press it or something, but you can see me hover her. Then Bread came, so I still didn't use exhaust because I knew I was dead no matter what. After that, laning phase was pretty much over. We went bot to catch a wave while Ari was dead and farmed until Drake. We chunk a bit of Riven's health as well, seeing that nothing was happening mid. Riven based and I continue to farm bot. While I'm down gold, I was still confident in myself. We E back to avoid damage and she waits it out, which is a smart move. But when she decides to engage a second time, we use exhaust and force out her flash again while she can't get out of my ult. We are forced to back off since Bren is hovering her again. By the time we meet each other again, I'm real close to hogging enough gold for shield bow when she is almost at Thunder Sky, so I decided to ego it with no ult or exhaust when she has better items. Not really the smartest choice, but I cancel base knowing she wants to check bush and get around 40% of her HP. Then we drag away with E and E back when she has W range. Then we W the bush and gamble that she went further upwards, but missed a crucial Q that ultimately led me to getting one shot. I say I beat her now because at both two items, Rion is a bit stronger than Riven. After respawning, our bot lane got killed mid while our jungle and mid got Riven. The enemy used his timing to get Baron. Luckily, Baron does the assist of a lifetime, allowing me to chain CC the Sylas and Swain. I could have killed Vi if I used E back, but I didn't, thinking she gets away, not seeing the Ivern root on her. Still better than nothing though. Things were looking grim when we were caught mid again, and I tried to kill Swain, but Sylas rotated instead of going to Drake, which was kind of odd to me. But a good team fight got us back in the game. It wasn't a special ult or anything from me, but we did our job correctly. Our Xayah was now really fed. I don't usually go mortal reminder, but every single person on their team had some sort of healing, so I sort of had to, well, except for the brand. Then I looked for a TP flank play because I knew Riven had no flash, even though Ivern and Ahri was already dead, because their Sylas and Vi were also pretty low. I try to predict Vi's Q, but she ends up flash queuing into Xayah. I think the better play on my end was to kill Sylas with Rakan, since Xayah could deal with the Vi on her own. I don't think I played it perfectly, but was autoing minions the only thing Xayah could do, but still, mainly my bad for not going for Sylas. After that, while I was matching Riven, we had an excellent 4v4 and won, securing Drake. But then they snaked Baron, and while I did see Sylas, I underestimated the power of Randuin's Omen. After we got aced for the nth time, and us buying as much time as possible to stall death timers, we come to the final Drake fight where we caught them all. I TP top to end the game as Mia randomly gets a pentakill, and GG. This is why I'm an advocate of reviewing your own gameplay. You're able to see things that you have missed if you simply moved on, like my mistake of not going on Sylas during that TP fight, and solidifying your understanding / experience, like maintaining the E auto distance from her, and how you should react to her engages based on the current state. With that being said, please like and subscribe if my video helped you in any way. These videos are exhaustive to make, but your support is always my biggest motivation. Thank you. Bye bye.